Greetings and welcome one and all to a channel update for December the 2nd, 2014. Yes, I know, I guess this is a little overdue, isn't it? It's actually kind of hard to know where to start. So much has changed, and yet in other ways so much has stayed the same, and I consider that a good thing, honestly. But before we get down to the channel update, a quick foreword. Firstly, to address the obvious question, no, I'm not drawing anything for this update. I've actually taken to recording myself when I draw lately, just for use in these sorts of things, but I've not really been inspired to draw anything particularly seasonal. But I do prefer there to be something for people to watch while I talk. Not to mention my mind is kind of a busy place if you haven't noticed. If I just talk without something else to occupy my mind, this update will likely cover topics ranging from Robocraft to Dyson spheres to the emotion invoked by watching moonlight reflect off broken glass. And I'd honestly not be able to tell you when or where the topic changed. So, here we are. Winter Bells, a game by Ferry Halim of Original.com fame. As the name implies, this is a game about bells and winter, and it's probably the only game I know of that can be both infuriating and soothing at the same time. Not only does it have music that literally sounds of happiness, as you can hear in the background there, but it's also quite charming in a secretly addictive sort of way. Thankfully, and this is probably the main reason why I'm playing this game right now, it's the sort of game that after a few minutes of play, my brain can kind of switch into an autopilot for. So it shouldn't be too hard for me to, okay. A bit of a failure to launch there. Let's start again. We'll pretend that didn't happen. It was a test run, that's what it was, yes. I just need to work a few kinks out of the autopilot system, and we will be good to go. But as I was saying, I should basically be able to play this without it messing up my commentary too much, I suppose. Damn it, game, way to make me look bad. But if you're interested in playing this game, by the way, I will drop a link into the video description below. There is also a... you can buy it in the Apple... App Store, I believe, for iOS, or just play it in your browser, which is where the link will point to. Now, secondly, this video will be split into two parts. You'll notice an annotation on the screen just about now. That button will take you to the second part, which will detail this year's merrymaking gift giveaway. Yes, it is returning this year too. I hadn't planned to make it a thing, I suppose, but it was so much fun last year and the community feel was so dapper that I really can't see a reason not to make it a tradition. Well, aside from costs, but that might be less of a concern in the future. So, if you've seen this video already and just want to check out some of the details for the giveaway, or simply aren't interested in the updatey part of things, then go ahead and click that button before it disappears, which will happen in about now many seconds. Right then, as you're still here, I shall assume that you're interested in hearing a bit more about the channel. Wonderful! I've got a fair bit to say, though none of it is particularly well organised, I'm afraid. Like I said, the updatey bit is well overdue at this point, but since the last one, I've kept a little list of things to discuss the next time I make one of these videos. Hopefully, taking my eyes off the screen won't result in my rabbit plummeting from the heavens toward the cold and unforgiving earth, though, as you've already noticed in this game, the cold and unforgiving earth is actually quite forgiving. Now, most of the items on the list are fairly small and never really felt important enough to make a video for on their own, so they're kind of piggybacking on the other larger points. So let's get those out of the way first. To start things off then, comments. I enjoy replying to them. That should be self-evident at this point, but I actually get quite a few comments that express surprise that I reply to any, let alone most of them. It's kind of one of the main reasons I'm Let's Playing, honestly, getting to interact with the people watching my videos. Besides that, I figure if you take the time to write a comment, the least I can do is take the time to reply to it. But on the topic of comments, there are a surprising amount, and it seems to be increasing, which is why this is a point, of comments that I can't reply to. That is, I literally can't reply. I think it's to do with YouTube's privacy settings. Google, in their wisdom, decided that by default, any new accounts should be set up such that no one can directly reply to the comments in their post. If you post in a comment chain started by someone else, then if you post in a comment chain that's started by someone else, then it's not too much of a problem. But otherwise, the only option I have is to thumbs up or thumbs down. Let's get back into the sky, shall we? Actually, 58, sorry, yeah. How much is that? 58,291,840. My lord, that's actually not too bad. But yes, the only option I have at that point, excuse me, is to thumbs up or down the comments. So if you feel I'm being particularly quiet when it comes to your questions, you may want to double check your YouTube settings. Right, next, regarding requesting to be friends on Steam. Currently, my friends list is full. It is quite often full. Most people don't seem to realize that there is actually a limit to how many friends you can have on Steam. It's tied to your Steam level, which I suppose is their way of giving you an incentive to craft badges and thus buy more games to get the cards in order to craft the badges. The rather unhelpful error message Steam gives when you request to add someone whose friends list is full doesn't really help matters either. So if you've been unable to add me on Steam, that is most likely the reason, but by all means, try again in the future because I may have managed to get some more cards and increase my Steam level, which means I will have more room on the list. However, in the meantime, you can also join my Steam group. It's linked at the bottom of all of my video descriptions. That way you can keep in touch via the group forum or even just join us in the chat room if you have time. There's almost always a few people around and we have a couple of multiplayer game nights and community games being played throughout the week. On the topic of streams though, I get asked often what my streaming schedule is. I'm afraid I don't have one. I tend to stream when the mood takes me, but that does... Ooh, that was a nice little bell chain. That does seem to end up being Friday or Sunday evening more often than not. However, I have been playing with the idea of trying to stream a little bit more often through the week, and should that happen, then I may look to specifically set a regular time for streams, if for no other reason than to ensure that I actually have some time to stream. But before I move on from the topic of streaming, I just want to touch on one last thing. Following a stream, I'll often upload the videos here, but I have occasionally been sent worried messages from viewers concerned that this marks some sort of transition away from making Let's Play videos, and instead simply uploading chopped up stream footage. So I just want to reassure you that I upload these videos as a convenience for those who may have missed the stream. They are uploaded not as a replacement for my regular LP videos, but instead in addition to them. Now, with those points out of the way, let's move on to the two main reasons for this update. First, and most obviously, wow. I mean, I've been Let's Playing for 2 years now, and in that time, 34,000 people have decided they like watching me play games for an hour or two every day. There's honestly no other way to describe this feeling other than humbling. The idea that some people coming home from work or uni look forward to getting in and checking if I've uploaded anything new is, well, kind of mind-boggling to me, but in a good way. I love this feeling, and, well, I love the fact that so many people comment on how comfortable they feel in the community. The simple fact that I can call this a community without that sounding arrogant now is in and of itself awesome. So, I want to say thank you to everyone who has helped shape the community into what it is and what it's becoming. It's as much a reflection of your efforts as anything I do at this point, and I'm incredibly happy to have such a fantastic group of friends to share my gaming shenanigans with. Wow, we're actually getting... Oh my... I shouldn't have thought it. I shouldn't have thought about how high up we were getting. Really, game, that was harsh. Oh, that felt like a much longer run than my last one, and yet I got a low score. Did I miss a bird or something? As you've probably already noticed, these bells, once you're beyond a certain point, they actually kind of lose all of their meaning, and it all comes down to getting to that bird right there, and others like him. Double score! It's all about this. This is one of those games kind of like pinball where getting... Oh, no, really, Okay, I'll take that on the chin. Well played, game. But it's kind of like pinball where... You know, unless you've got several tens of millions in score, you've actually had a bad run. But I digress. I would also like to give an enormous thank you to everyone who's donated games to play, or money enough to buy tea. Often new brands of tea, in fact, suggested by yourselves. For as with spice, the tea must flow. And I certainly wouldn't have as diverse or as fun a selection of games to Let's Play without your support. But that thank you extends not only to those who are fortunate enough to be in a position to donate, but also to those who aren't, but wish they could. In fact, it's one such conversation specifically that brings me onto the final topic I'd like to discuss before we get to the merrymaking. Although some have been surprised to find out, ad blocking software being as ubiquitous as it is, that I don't monetize my videos, I imagine most are aware that I've never been particularly interested in the idea, if for no other reason than I'm simply not motivated by money. You see, I've never been one to pay much mind to advertising. I don't make a habit of chasing cars or clothes, nor have I ever continued to work a job I hate because I just don't buy things I don't need. Tyler would be proud. And yes, I realize there's a certain amount of irony in me telling you this by recording myself talking into an expensive microphone hooked up to a moderately powerful, if old and mostly broken PC, which I'm then going to upload to YouTube via my far, far faster than necessary internet connection. But I hope you know what I mean. My priorities in life are different. I may not have money to spare, but I don't want for what I don't have, and I'm well aware that I'm incredibly fortunate to be in a position to say that truthfully. However, recently I enjoyed a particularly thought-provoking discussion with a viewer, though by recently I mean a few months ago. I like to let thoughts like these have some time to age before I decide what to do with them. They expressed that they felt a little left out, as if they were somehow not as much a part of the community because they couldn't afford to support it with donations. Now, aside from that just being a crazy notion, as if I'd think any less of someone for not being able to do something I myself couldn't afford to, they made the surprisingly good point that if my videos were monetized, then they could feel as though they were supporting my channel without having to give anything directly other than their time, and that those who didn't want to spend time watching ads probably don't, whether there are ads there to watch or not. Again, ad blocking software being what it is. It's taken a while for me to make up... that was a bit of an interesting slalom there. It's taken a bit of time for me to make up my mind about their suggestion, but I can't really think of a reason not to try it out, at least on a trial basis. I've no real expectations. I wouldn't know what to expect, honestly, and by that token, it'll probably be a little while before I actually turn monetization on for any of my videos, as I'll need to look into the technical side of it first. But if this will help some people feel a little bit more connected, or at the very least, less left out, then I'll be happy. Odds are any extra money I get from Let's Playing will simply get invested into expanding my already rather impressive supply of tea, or something mundane like boosting my grocery budget. But on the off chance there's a little more, then renting a TeamSpeak or game server for the Dapplings, or even fixing or perhaps even upgrading my PC certainly wouldn't hurt. And of course, although it probably doesn't need to be said, I'll say it anyway. I Let's Play for the fun of Let's Playing. While donations of games or tea have always been welcome, they've never been necessary nor expected. I'm just happy to have someone to share my gaming shenanigans with. So if ads aren't your thing, there are many well-documented ways to neatly avoid them, and it wouldn't be hurting me or the channel in any way if you chose to do so. This isn't my job. You're not going to be taking any money away from me. This is what I do for fun, and that will probably always be the case. But there we go then. That's it for the update part of this video. Now we move on, as promised, to the merrymaking. Those of you who've been subscribed to my channel for over a year will possibly remember the format for this giveaway from last year. But for everyone who's new to the channel, this is more or less a raffle, but with a bit of a twist. I have a number of games to give away, most of them on Steam, where I've been picking up games here and there, funds willing, throughout the year, but also a few Humble Bundle games, as well as some games that generous viewers have donated for this purpose. And in roughly a month's time, I'll be drawing names from a hat, with the winners being given a choice of any game on the list in the order their names were drawn. Pretty standard raffle so far. So where's the twist? I hear you are. I really wish you hadn't. No. So far down. Gonna splat. I can't. No. We were doing so well! My lord, that's a large number, though. That's 11,874,928,260. That wasn't a bad roll, honestly. My hand is so cold now. It's just basically been held in a claw over my mouse. So I really should put the heating on or wear a jumper or something. But, okay, back to... Oh, really? It would seem that perhaps my luck has run out. Perhaps I used it all on the last run. And this video is going to be a succession of failures. Let's hope not. And leap once more into the skies and see if we can recapture that momentum. Now, as I was about to say, in the spirit of gift giving, and I'm pleased to say the nature of the community as a whole, this giveaway, as the name may imply, is about giving gifts rather... I'm just going to keep... rather than receiving them. So, you may not put your own name forward into the draw. Instead, you can name someone else for a chance to win one of the games. There are no conditions on who that person is, though naturally it would please me greatly to see people nominating other members of the community. Perhaps you've spotted their name in the comments from time to time, or I should really not be playing this game anymore while talking. But no, we're not going to accept defeat. Back into the skies we go. Okay, as I was saying, there are no restrictions on who you nominate into the raffle. It could be a family member or a friend in real life. The only requirement is that I'm given a way to contact them, and depending on the game they chose, they may have to have a Steam account or at least an email address in the case of a Humble Bundle game, for example. This is my way of giving everyone the gift of gift giving itself. Because as good as it feels to be able to do this, I know not everyone is in a position to be able to share gifts with anyone. So this is as much a chance to enjoy that feeling as it is to be nominated to win a game. However, as I am sure there are many people getting ready to point out, yes, I am aware that it is entirely possible for someone to work around the system to nominate themselves, as was the case last year. But I'm afraid I'm no less naive or idealistic this time around, and I choose to believe that none of my viewers would be so undapper as to dabble in those sorts of underhanded shenanigans. In fact, the way so many viewers donated additional gifts to the prize pool last year has only strengthened my belief that everyone in this community is inherently dapper. Yes, that also includes the ones that drink coffee. Maybe. I'm not sure how that works. Maybe some sort of genetic immunity to coffee's inherent undapperness. More research is required, but I digress. I trust everyone to be dapper, so let's leave it at that. Now, I will recap the details of the giveaway, how to put a name in the hat, the rules and the dates in a moment. But first, here's a list of the games that I have from a prize pool so far, and do be aware that I've had this list of games open to the side of my browser this entire time. I still am not convinced that I'm going to be able to read this list whilst playing, so prepare for a long stream of failures. If I do manage to get through this without falling to my death, I am going to be incredibly proud. No, never mind, I'm not going to be proud of myself at all. I am a failure. No, I'm not going to just sit there. No. I'm going to do this whilst bouncing on bells. Damn it, this is now a matter of pride, of honor. But okay, now, I have a whopping 15 copies of From the Depths, generously donated by the developers. I have 3 copies of Terraria, 2 copies of Scribblenauts Unlimited, Armor Cold War Assault, Carrier Command Gear Mission, Take on Helicopters, UFO Afterlight, Alpha Prime, Armor Gold Edition, Armor Tactics, Fish Fillets 2, Fear 2, Project Origin, Fear 3. I have Frozen Synapse, Space-Based DF9, Gun Monkeys, Amputee, naturally, Dungeon Defenders, Faster Than Light Advanced... Faster Than Light Advanced Edition, Rogue Legacy. I almost made it through the list, man. Nether, Risk of Rain, Space Hulk, Hack and Slash, Naval Warfare, the Siberia Bundle, which includes Siberia and Siberia 2, Blackwell Bundle, Blackwell Convergence, that is, it includes Blackwell Convergence, Blackwell Deception, Blackwell Unbound, and Blackwell Legacy, Deponia and Bad Rats. And yes, it is the same copy of Bad Rats that I had in the raffle last year. It seems that no one wants this booby prize. Can't really blame them, if I'm perfectly honest. That comes to a grand total of 50 games. Not a bad start. But as with last year, given the potential sales that spring up, Tea and Biscuit Fund willing, I'll continue to add more games as we make our way through December. I'll list all the games in the prize pool in the video description, as well as on the Dappling Steam group, and I'll update those lists if I manage to add any more games to the draw. However, if I manage to add a lot of games, I may well make an additional short update video as and when needed. Now, finally, to recap the way the giveaway will work. Firstly, how to nominate someone. You can post the name of the person you'd like to nominate in the comments of this video, specifically only this one. Please don't post names in any of the other videos, or they'll likely be confused as name requests in game or something. And please make it clear that you're nominating someone, so as to avoid me missing your comment among general discussion. Ideally, put the word nomination at the beginning of your comment. I will reply to every nomination as long as your YouTube privacy settings allow it to confirm that person's name is on the list. And I'll be making the list of names public on the Dappling Steam Group forum. A link will be included in the video's description below. So if in doubt, you can check there. But no matter how many times a person gets nominated, their list will only be added to their name will only be added to the list once, I should say. Given that, should you nominate someone who's already on the list, I'll let you know so you can pick someone else. Secondly, the dates. In the interest of not pulling people away from family gatherings or just chilling out and enjoying the snow, or sun if you're enjoying the summer down under, I'll be announcing the winners in the new year on January the 5th. So that means you have just a little bit more than a month to nominate someone. And thirdly, how I'll be picking the winners. It'll be a simple case of putting all of the names into a numbered list, then picking numbers at random using random.org probably. I'll record the order that people's names are drawn, as that will dictate who gets to choose first, that sort of thing, and I'll announce the winners in a video on the same day. But to save on time in this video, I'll explain how the winners will get to pick the games they want in that video. But with that, this update video and well, actually well-timed this run comes to a close. Okay, it's not that bad. All things considered, it's 5 million. I mean, that's, you know, a paltry sum compared to 11 billion, but I'll accept it. I hope that you're all having a fantastic winter, though, or summer so far, and I wish everyone good luck in the giveaway. But until next time, and as always, do take care.